It is interesting, isn't it? The way that we need a relatively low dose to prevent the classic vitamin D deficiency disease of the 19th century, rickets. And then, but then slightly higher dose does a bit more, and a slightly higher dose does a bit more, and a slightly higher dose does everything that triggers all the genes and the protein pathways that actually need vitamin D as part of its sort of enzymic activities. It's amazing how much vitamin D is just vitamin D receptors are just rooted in so many human physiological systems.
Virtually every cell, from what I know. They're on virtually every cell. So it does suggest that they have a purpose, and a lot of it is immunomodulatory. So they're actually directing the immune system to work in a better way. If you combine that with zinc as well, which we also know has quite significant effects on viral infections and the ability for cells to kill viral infections, I think that there's really little to say don't take this concoction. You certainly don't want to have a situation of a zinc deficiency. And it is known, I have read quite a few bits of research that show that zinc does improve the immune response to viral infections. And I can say anecdotally, I use it on a daily basis in my practice for regular viral infections. And quite often I tell people as soon as they get a virus, just take 50 milligrams of zinc twice a day. And they do it for a week, and it knocks the virus on the head within hours sometimes.
The vitamin D, my understanding with vitamin D, it needs to be metabolized, doesn't it?
It does, and you need at least a few days of it beforehand, and therefore I tell people to just take it constantly. But to get good levels, you want to be taking it for at least a few weeks beforehand. And seeing as you don't know when you're going to get COVID, and you could get COVID twice easily, I've seen many people who've had COVID twice, it's important to be taking it throughout. And if you wait until you actually get the virus, it's already too late. Even who've received high doses, they've done studies with 50,000, even 200,000 units of vitamin D given as a shot at the time of admission to hospital. It probably does have some immunomodulatory effect, but it takes time for it to kick in. It takes at least a few days, by which stage the person could be a lot further down the illness with COVID. They could be onto a much later stage of COVID whereby they're already ventilated. And the whole idea of this is to prevent that.
Yes, absolutely. We know it has to be metabolized by the liver and has to be metabolized by the kidneys.
It's switching genes on, it's switching genes off. But ultimately, these things take time. It's like when you take any long-term medication or vitamin, people often say this doesn't work. But if you give it enough time, cells themselves go through processes of being born and dying. And the body is constantly reproducing new cells and killing off the old cells. So for some things to see an effect, you need to wait for the old ones to move along and the new ones to take effect.
DoctorsToTrust.com. Please share this video with loved ones.